The prequel films of Prometheus and Alien Covenant have greatly expanded the horizons of the Alien universe, and even though some of their additions might look foreign or out of place to some, much of what the movies bring to the table is not new at all, and is instead a refreshing of older unused content. The engineered temple encountered on LV-223 is an homage to the pyramid that originally housed the ovomorphs on LV-426, before budget cuts removed it and placed the eggs onto the derelict. The engineers without their suits may look nothing like the original space jockey, but they do look strikingly similar to H.R. Giger's astronauts featured prominently in his unused alien life cycle mural. Which brings us to the mysterious black goo, the engineer accelerant or pathogen, and its similarities to the alien virus-like material featured in William Gibson's unused first and second drafts for Alien 3. The overall shared story between the two scripts would place us in the middle of a futuristic arms race between Weyland-Yutani and the UPP, or the Union of Progressive Peoples, a coalition of Germany, Spain, and Russia, where the weapon is the alien. The USS Sulaco, due to a navigational error on its return voyage from LV-426, has encroached upon UPP space, and they take this opportunity to board the vessel. Once there, they locate the upper half of the android Bishop, and strangely enough, he has an ovomorph growing out of him. After a team member is subdued by the resulting facehugger, the torso, without the egg, is brought back to the UPP space station, Rodina. Later on, a Weyland-Yutani team then takes control of the Sulaco and recovers the legs of Bishop, returning to their own station, Anchor Point. It appears that during the android's confrontation with the Queen Alien, that she was able to deposit an unknown type of alien material onto him. Some scientists have speculated that this may have been royal jelly, another possible inspiration for the accelerant, but we'll come back to that later. Back on Anchor Point, they now have samples of a tiny black mold-like material that was discovered on Bishop's legs. Similar alien material is recovered from Bishop's upper half by the UPP, who then return his torso after accessing his files on the alien, knowing full well that Weyland-Yutani won't be able to determine if they did so or not. With each group now knowing that the other has access to alien materials, they both decide to move forward with experimentations, violating a treaty. The Anchor Point scientists are told to mix the alien substance with human DNA under the guise of cancer research, whereas the Rodina team is attempting to clone the creatures. We do learn later that the UPP scientists do end up experimenting on the strain after all, and that both stations have created aliens that are bigger, meaner, and faster, though we don't know if human DNA was introduced to the UPP strain. When the alien material is viewed in a microscope, it looks just like the dark, ribbed textures seen on the derelict ship. And at an even higher magnification, it doesn't resemble biological material at all. The script describes it as a cubist vision of an Art Deco staircase, its asymmetrical segments glowing day-glow green and purple. When exposed to human DNA, the transformation is shockingly swift. It seems to pull itself into and through the coils. For an instant, the two are meshed, locked, and then the final stage. A new shape glows, a hybrid. The green and red beads have been altered beyond recognition, a high-speed viral takeover in mere moments. With time and growth, the Anchor Point team now has experiments going on in 6 small tubes. 3 of them appear to be alien embryos, while the other 3 were small masses that have grown into what appears to be a smaller version of the ovomorph. But before the samples can grow any larger, there's a malfunction in the lab and 2 of the tubes suffer a blowout. The room is sealed off, trapping Tully and Wells inside. After falling over, the 2 are now on the floor, and in front of them is one of the eggs, said to resemble a gray pigeon's egg of alien tissue. Tully tries to pick it up with a pair of tongs, but as he reaches for it, it opens up, and for a split second, something glitters above it. A faint, fist-sized cloud of dark mist. Then it's gone. Unfortunately for these 2, they are now infected and will undergo the change, becoming a hybrid, otherwise known as the Anchor Point xenomorph. Now I do want to pause here for a moment because if you didn't notice, that egg with the mist seems a lot like the neomorphic egg sacs in the motes that they release from Alien Covenant. Both the egg sacs and the small ovomorphic sac seem to have similar functions as a substance delivery system. The outcomes are different though, with one making a neomorph and the other a hybrid. Within hours of this lab accident, the change has begun and the hybrids are now ready to make an entrance. In a horrific show of gore, Wells is cut off mid-sentence as a full-grown xeno-like creature tears itself out of her body, tossing what was left of her onto the ground. Now the same would happen to Tully, but he would trap himself in a freezer, committing suicide to stop the change. The scripts don't really explain how the hybrid alien would differ in design from the standard alien besides it being bigger, meaner, and faster. Though in one draft, the standard alien, which they call the Beast, and the hybrid do meet, and it doesn't end well for the hybrid, when it's ripped in half by the Beast. At least in this case, it appears that the anchor point alien is not as strong as the regular Xeno. Looking to the comics as a visual medium, they do give the new alien its own look. It's got a translucent head cowl, one that wraps around the entire head, and inside its face area is a human skull like Big Chap's, but this time, instead of hollow eye sockets, it has red beady eyes. Both the anchor point alien and the newborn of Alien Resurrection are considered hybrids. And even though both are examples where alien and human material was used in their creations, their end results are pretty far apart. However, the anchor point alien does seem to pull inspiration from the original intention for what would become the Abomination with Fifield. In the released version of Prometheus, the pathogen-infected Fifield still looks quite human, but with his unused CGI effects, you can see that they wanted him to appear much more alien and further along in a hybrid-like transformation. The viral nature of the Alien 3 pathogen is expressed in the first draft, where the creature bites a victim on the leg, and the resulting infection causes multiple chest bursters to grow from within him. Hicks and his team would even encounter a mutant alien queen, and unlike normal queens, this thing is splayed on its back and mortared into mass with resin. Its abdomen was arched like an inverted scorpion tail, and it was tipped with a swollen, semi-translucent sac, a biomechanical birth factory. When under threat by the Marines, her tail would split open, releasing a puffball cloud of the viral dark mist. The alien substance was even seen to be able to infect plant life, with a patch of it growing over styrofoam structures that grew plants. It was described as a grayish parody of vegetation, glistening vine-like structures and bulbous sacs that echoed the alien biomech motif, with patches of thick black mold spreading to the styrofoam and onto the deck. The bulbous nature of it makes me think of the growth seen in the egg morphing scene in the Alien Director's Cut. Now, I mentioned early that the royal jelly is another inspiration for the pathogen. It's a substance that is secreted by queens that she then uses to transform aliens into different stages like Praetorians. When ingested by humans in the comic Aliens Colonial Marines, it was able to create bugmen or alien-human hybrids, and it was also the main ingredient to make Xenozip, a steroid-like drug with amazing effects. The Alien role-playing game is known for incorporating aspects from both the films and the expanded universe as one cohesive world, and it does so with the Arearchus Body Burster, or Xenomorph XX121AB, with the AB meaning aberrant type, or something outside the standard or diverging from the normal. This iteration of the hybrid is created when someone who is already infected by a xenomorph with a chest burster via facehugger takes the 26 Draconis strain of the accelerant or pathogen. This variant on the accelerant was originally created to halt neomorph moat infection, but it was also shown to interrupt chest burster formation in some cases, rendering the burster inert. But in the rare cases where it wasn't successful, it would instead act as a genetic bridge between the host DNA and that of the developing alien embryo, combining them together, giving us a body burster. If you want to see a video going more into depth on the Alien Queen's royal jelly, or one on H.R. Giger's astronaut engineers, try out one of these links. Otherwise, take care, and I hope to see you next time.